Hello, I'm Chris, and I want to do a brief introduction on my new book coming out called The Three Faces of Love. Now, we have the great question of the universe: what is love? Well, we're going to explain that question by explaining the three different faces of love. And this is going to help you because much of the pain and the joy that you've had around love has to do about which face you encountered. So let me briefly go over, and then I'll make a video in this series about each particular face and the dynamics of that. This is just an introduction video. So the first one is transactional love. Now, we all know about that. We've heard of the prenuptial agreements, and we have this, but it goes more than that. This is about, hey, I'm going to do this for you, and you're going to do that for me. And if you don't do this for me, I'm leaving, right? And so we have a very clear definition that this is a transaction-based relationship. I'm providing this in the transaction, and you're providing that in the transaction. Now, most of us, we don't want to have anything to do with that, we say, but there's actually a lot of this that goes on. Women do this very easily, right? I want security and finances, right? So I'll give you my body and I'll give you my loyalty, right? If I can have these things in exchange. It's a form of transactional love, okay? That's one. The second one we've all heard of because it's overwhelming, just the content here on YouTube, is called unconditional love. Now, unconditional love says, hey, I'm going to love you without any expectations. I'm going to love you no matter what. And, we want the same thing, right? So unconditional love, as I argue, is actually usually not so unconditional. Let me explain to you. Your partner is beating the snot out of you physically, right? Unconditional love, is it okay right now? Are we still unconditional? Because, hey, we never, so you get what the problem is. Or cheating, right? Or any of these kinds of things that we can get into. And my point is, I know I'm using extreme examples, but it also goes for not so extreme examples. I think that most of the time, what you will find with unconditional love is people are trying to hide behind it. Again, we're going to get into this in another video. They're hiding behind unconditional love because they don't want the demands and the expectations of what love really requires, which is going to get to our third phase, okay? And that third phase is reciprocal love. Now, if you want to have intimacy, and love is about intimacy, you would say, well, we asked this question at the beginning of the video. What is love? I'm going to tell you, love is intimacy in action. Love is a verb. It's an action word. The best way that we can love is through empathy, right? And through intimacy. We are allowing other people to see into us, and we're seeing into other people. And we give each other a safe place for that. That is what love is all about. But it requires reciprocation. And what is reciprocation? Well, reciprocation isn't transactional love, right? But it's also not this nebulous theory of unconditional love either. So reciprocal love is just healthy love. And it means that, hey, I'm going to just pour out my kindness and my love upon you, and I don't have these demands with that, right? But I have a general expectation in my heart that you'll reciprocate back to me, right? What does that mean? Well, that would have answered our question about the abuse. It means you're going to treat me with respect and dignity. I expect that out of you. That would be reciprocating. If I'm showing you kindness and I'm showing you love and I'm showing you respect, I would hope that you give the same back to me. That's reasonable. That is an expectation. And that is a proper definition of real love. Okay? So what I want to do is help go through this series and help you to understand how to form proper love, because our damages that we've had in the past, and we've all been there, right, have happened because we've either encountered transactional love or we've encountered unconditional love, which was usually one-sided. They were unconditional, or maybe it was us, right? And one person was unconditional, but the other person, no. There's expectations on you. It doesn't work. That's the problem a lot of times with unconditional love. It breaks down, and we'll go into that. But when there's healthy reciprocal love, and I'm giving this to you, and you reciprocate back to me, and we're going to go into this, gratitude and empathy are the basis for reciprocation. Just remember that. Gratitude and empathy are the basis of reciprocation. So we're not reciprocating out of obligation. That's the difference. Transactional love is doing so out of obligation. Reciprocal love is giving back. And it's not tit for tat or this for that. It's not I spell it out. It just means generally you find your way to reciprocate. We let people do that on their own, but they do reciprocate. And when I receive that, I go, man, this is amazing. And it fills me with greater love and empathy and gratitude for you, and I continue to pour out. And we get this cycle of intimacy going, right? because that's the core. And that's the thing I want to leave. This video is 5 minutes. I wanted to make it less, but I wanted you to understand that the real issue of love is intimacy. You are designed for intimacy. And I want to make a video about that next and explain that in a greater detail. Okay, so you understand how you were designed and you understand why reciprocal love is so critical for true and genuine connection.